Our guest is Deputy Police Chief Troy Daniels. Welcome back to the show, Troy.
How's it going, Rick?
Good. Today we want to talk about the way that the public can cooperate and help the police, but how important is public involvement in helping you solve crime?
Oftentimes, it's the difference between whether we're successful or whether we're not. It's crucial. Public involvement, they know their neighborhoods much better than the officers do. Even though officers are in beats and neighborhoods, they're often in squad cars. So we're driving down the roads and we're waving to people, we're talking to people, but no one knows their neighborhoods better than the people who are living there. So for us to solve the crimes or know the problems in those neighborhoods, we need public involvement. We need the eyes and ears of the good citizens that are out there throughout our community calling us and letting us know what's going on.
No one wants to be the victim of crime, but if someone finds they have been, what are the steps that they should take?
Well, the first thing that they need to do when they're a victim of a crime is get through the crime itself. And so pay attention to what's going on. The best thing to do to help us is to start to think, I may have to identify this person again. If I have to identify this person again, what do I need to tell the police? So first, if you look at their look at the suspect. You look at hair, start from the top down. What color hair? How's it parted? Long, curly, straight. Face. Is he wearing glasses? He or she wearing glasses? Look at the lips, the nose, the facial structure. Are there earrings? Are there tattoos? What are they wearing? What specific kind of clothes? Is there any unique patterns on the clothes that would help police identify whether this shirt or jacket is the one that's being worn by the suspect? What kind of shoes, pants? And then you look how they flee. Which direction are they fleeing? Are they fleeing on foot, on bike? Are they in a car? If they're in a car, what color car? Are there unique identifiers about that car? Is it a newer car? How many doors? What state is the license plate from? And preferably, we'd love to get a license plate number. Even if only a partial license plate number may make all the difference in the world, even the first letter or the last few letters or numbers would be very helpful. So the victim of a crime is someone who pays very close attention to what's going on so they can identify the suspects later.
We never want anybody to put themselves at risk, but if I have a suspicion that something's just not right, but I think, well, this might not be very important, I'm not going to call, what's the approach you'd rather people take?
I know there are a lot of people that see and hear things and they think, well, I just don't know if this is important enough. I'm not sure if I should actually contact police about this. Remember, the police officers are out there to respond to these issues. Let the police officer decide whether it's important or not. If it's, you know your neighborhoods and you know what's going on, if there's something that's causing you concern, trust your instinct is what I'm saying. And if there's a person that has a problem like that, they should contact police. That's what we're there for. Let us determine if it's something that's worthwhile or not. Even sometimes the smallest information can be added to the information or evidence we already have and can help us build a case. Sometimes it's the smallest details that someone may think, oh, this isn't that important, but that detail alone is going to help us solve the case. And we need people to come forward. We need people that will testify to what they see. For us to solve crime, we need to have people that will tell the police what they see and then have the courage to go into a courtroom and say, this is what I saw, and that's the person who did it.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I think I know you've seen cases where people know things, but they're succumbing to peer pressure, they're succumbing to fear. What do you tell those people?
Well, this is what I would tell them. It's critical for us to solve crime to have people that have the courage to testify to what they see, that they will say, this is what I saw, that's the person who did it, that's the person who said they did it. Ultimately, to get convictions and people taken off the street, we need people who will testify and tell us who they are and give us information. However, sometimes people are just too afraid to do that. They have legitimate concerns about their safety or the safety of their families, and they don't feel like they can call police. In that case, Crime Stoppers is the perfect avenue to give us information. Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to protecting the identity of a tipster. And in Champaign County, over 25 years, Crime Stoppers has protected every single tipster that has ever contacted police. Police don't even know the names of the tipsters. That's how secure their identities are.
Let's talk about how that works, because I think people may have a fear, well, my phone can always be traced, or if I send a text message, there's something in the code that they can look back at that. How does Crime Stoppers work to protect the identity of the people who call?
Well, the first thing that we do, we have layers. The first thing is we have created a nonprofit organization over 25 years ago that is dedicated to protecting the anonymity of the tipster, and will hire attorneys to make sure that we protect the identity of the tipster. The next ring around that nonprofit organization that helps protect the tipster is the technology we use. And whether it be a phone call, text message, web tip, all of those, we use technology that strips the identifying information of the tipster. So we don't trace your phone calls. We don't record your phone calls. If you send a web tip or a text tip in or a smartphone application tip in, we use technology that encrypts your identity, and there's no way anyone can find out who it is that is contacting us. And so when I say that the tipster's anonymous and their identity is secret, I can guarantee their identity is secret.
Now, there are often rewards connected with Crime Stoppers tips. How does that process work and still protect someone's identity?
What we do is every time a tipster contacts us, we give them a unique identifying number. They know that's the only way we know them, is by the number that we give them. And they contact us to check to see if their tip leads to an arrest. If their tip leads to an arrest, then they're eligible for a reward. And the board determines how much money they would get for that award, and they contact us back and say, did my tip lead to an arrest? We tell them, yes, it did. We then tell them where in our community to go to collect cash. They walk into that location. They give their identifying number only, not their name, and cash is given to them, and they walk out the door. And no one ever knows who it was that we gave that money to. We don't even know who we gave the money to.
You know, through that 25 years, have you found, is the motivation the reward, or is the motivation to bring the criminal to justice?
That's a great question, Rick. Actually, there are some people that do it because they want the money. And that's okay. That's why we raise money to pay tipsters like that. But there's a good chunk of the tipsters that never come to collect their money. In fact, the majority of tipsters never come to collect the money that they have been authorized by the board to get for their tips. They're doing it because they want a safe way to give information to police, and that safe way to give information to police in Champaign County has led to 1,500 arrests approximately. 19 homicides have been solved, numerous armed robberies, burglaries, home invasions, sexual assaults. Numerous very serious crimes in Champaign County have been solved through those tips. So it's Crime Stoppers is an extremely important way to help solve crime. If you don't have the courage or you're concerned about your safety, use Crime Stoppers.
We appreciate that, and thanks for reinforcing that message for us here today, Troy.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
The Champaign Police Department's dedicated to improving public safety in our community, but sometimes they need a little help from the rest of us. We all have an important role to play in helping get criminals off the streets. So if you have any information about a crime, report it to local authorities or anonymously via Crime Stoppers.